Hello. My name is Megan. I'm on the partner support team here at Seller Shield. And we are thrilled to be reviewing the benefits of our partnership with the Briggs Freeman team today. And I know your time is valuable, so I'm just going to keep this to about 20 minutes. And then if you want any help afterwards, you can always reach out to partner support at sellersshield.com. And I'll provide that here again halfway through the presentation, so you can write that down later. But if you're not aware, our goal at Seller Shield is really to protect agents, brokers, and home sellers from lawsuits. Disclosure issues are the #1 cause of post-sale claims. In fact, 95% of claims stem from disclosure issues. Even if your seller discloses accurately and completely, they can still be sued. And most claims are made many months after the sale, often over a year after close. So we recognize that there are two huge unfair issues that are inherent in in all home sale listing transactions. First, everyone in the transaction has some type of legal protection built in, except for the seller. Brokers and agents have E&O, title appraisers and inspectors all have their own insurance in place, but sellers are left to fend for themselves if there's an issue after the sale, and that's obviously unfair. Secondly, if the seller does get sued, so does their agent and broker, even if they did nothing wrong, which is usually the case, and it's also clearly an unfair issue. Oops, I'm sorry about that.
Good afternoon.
Not quite ready. I was going to kick us off here with a few examples of the kind of call an agent or seller may have to make after receiving a demand letter. These are just real calls made to real attorneys and their responses to somebody experiencing a legal claim against them. So we're just going to play this and then I'll review the 3 main points that we're just trying to make here.
Law firm.
I sold my house several months ago and I was kind of taken aback that the buyer is suing me. Does this happen often?
It's a tale as old as time.
Daily.
Hi there. I sold my house and the buyer is suing me. Do you guys take on cases like that?
The bad news is that no, we cannot help you.
Do you recommend anyone?
Not offhand.
Good afternoon. Law office.
I sold my house a couple of months ago. I'm being sued by the buyer.
Do you have a minimum requirement for the retainer?
$5,000 retainer deposit.
Around $14,000, which we'd have to collect up front.
So the 3 main issues that this video is pointing out really are that, yes, lawsuits do happen. They happen pretty often. When they happen, it can be pretty hard to find experienced legal support that's ready and willing to help you at that moment. And finally, if you do find somebody to help, it's going to be pretty expensive, as you saw there, with that $14,000 retainer just to get started with them. So really, it would be great to have a way in place to prevent that situation for both you and your clients. And that's really where we come in. So Seller Shield is created to solve the unfair issues that I mentioned previously in 2 unique ways. We have our home sale legal protection, and I'll explain exactly on the next slide how this helps protect you guys as agents. But essentially, when your sellers receive a claim or a demand letter, we immediately jump into action, and we're going to hire a qualified and experienced real estate attorney for your client. We provide full support to the seller from the first sign of trouble to the very end of the claim, and we cover the seller's legal fees all the way up to $20,000. Even as much as $60,000 with our new offer, and I'll cover that here in a moment, but it's just a few $100s to get this protection in place, and it will cover all the way up to $20,000 in legal fees for your seller. So obviously a good deal there. And then to cover that second point again, I just want to clarify the first sign of trouble being, even if it's not a demand letter, it could just be a text or an email from the buyer about a cracked tile, something like that. That would be the first sign of trouble that you reach out to us about, and we can start working to prevent mediation in a lawsuit from there. And I like to emphasize this point as it just kind of helps illustrate the value we offer y'all. A lot of agents will advise clients on this protection, let them know about it or even buy it for them, as it also protects themselves and their brokers at the same time. And why is that? Because when a seller receives a claim, at that point, that's really all it is. It hasn't gone to a lawsuit or even mediation yet. But if not resolved early, obviously it can escalate to that point, and that's where you and your broker would be pulled into the lawsuit unfairly. Luckily, we are here to prevent most claims from escalating at all. In fact, we've actually helped resolve over 94% of the claims for our protected sellers before they went on to a lawsuit or even mediation. Again, that's 94% that never actually went to court with this protection in place. And obviously, you as agents can't be drawn into those lawsuits if they don't exist. So that's really how we protect y'all. And of course, some do go through, you know, there's another 6% there that do. And we've actually helped resolve those mediations and lawsuits that did occur for an average 6% of the amount of the initial demand. So again, 6% of the initial amount demanded by the buyer in the event of whatever claim it was. Obviously, you can see the value there. So pennies on the dollar for each sale, you know, this is just a few $100s. Again, you can start to see that unique value it brings you guys. And then the second way we protect everyone is through our interactive disclosure form. Again, disclosure mistakes are the #1 cause of these home sale disputes. So our disclosure form is a free tool. It's always free to use. It kind of works like TurboTax. It's kind of, you know, walks them through the questions. It provides tips and definitions, and even it features our unique expanding fields, meaning where they input information will actually expand to fit everything they want to provide, all the info they want to provide, without, you know, writing off into the margin or, you know, making it hard to read as it may be on a paper form. It'll also require them to answer all the questions and check all the boxes they need to, initial and sign where they need to, before they're able to return these forms back to you. So obviously more complete and accurate disclosures will reduce the risk of disputes and claims in the first place. You'll receive those nice, neat forms, and then it'll save you a lot of that back and forth time that you probably experience on these forms sometimes. You can just focus on getting that listing together. And we are now integrated with most major transaction management platforms. There we go, like Zipform, Dotloop. Super easy to incorporate both the tool and the protection side of our business into your existing process. So if you want help, just reach out to partner support at sellershield.com and we can walk you through that. And we've actually created a button in partnership with Zipform. If you haven't seen that yet, definitely take a look for it next time you're in Zip. It's just going to be a little disclosures button with a shield above it. It'll be located under the documents tab of any active transaction inside your account. So you can go check that out. If you click that, and then it'll open up a window to just send out an invite to your client so they can fill out their forms with us. And then once complete, you'll be notified via email, and you'll have those files that you can just export back to your Zip account super quickly. But even without any integration, the tool is really going to save you guys a lot of time still. It'll make it easier and safer for everyone to complete these forms. So it is worth that extra little step. And I can actually show you what that looks like right now. It's just a few seconds to show you. So if you want to follow along, you can always use the QR code. I'll just go ahead and give you a second to pull that up if you'd like. sellersshield.com. And then once you get there, you're just going to hover over login and click agent login. I see we have a question in there. I'll get to that in just a second. Once you get there, we have a drop down here for the state. So we'll do Texas. It'll ask for your license number. We've already created your account, so you'll just enter your license number to locate that, and then set a password. And then once you're logged into your account, you can just send out an invite just by clicking invite new seller there. And you'll be able to enter 3 pieces of information. That's all we need. Just their name, address, and email to send out this email invite to them, and then they can get started on their forms. My internet's going slow. My apologies. It's trying. I'll try that again. Invite new seller. There we go. Maybe I didn't click it hard enough. Okay. So you can always import these details from Zipform by clicking that button. It'll just bring up a window for you to log in to your Zip account, select the appropriate client, and then it'll import these little 3 pieces of information. Obviously, you can just type them in as well. It doesn't take much effort to do so. And what I'm doing here is making a test invite. So I can send myself an invitation to go through these forms if I want to on my own time when I have an extra second. The only note there, if you were doing this on your own, is to use your personal email address to send it to, just not the email you use to log in here with. Obviously, that wouldn't really work. So I'll put my personal email in there. In the future, you can always add a phone number here to text an invite to your client if you would like, so they can go through their home on their mobile device, maybe a little bit easier for them. And then here, will an additional seller need to sign? You'll click that if you need to add a secondary seller. Of course, it'll go to seller 1 to fill out the form and sign, and then seller 2 will receive a link to look them over and sign. They can always make changes if necessary with the Make Changes button that they will have on their seller account, though. So once you have that info on, you'll just click Continue. The secondary page is your opportunity to purchase that protection on behalf of your client if you would like. It's always optional, so you can always just click this bottom option that says no protection package. You can return to purchase this protection if you change your mind all the way up to the day of close. So I will, for now, obviously, it's a test invite. We don't need protection. We'll just click no protection package and submit. And that is the whole invite process. Super easy. Again, let us know if you have any questions, though. Partner support at sellershield.com. I'll go back to my dashboard by clicking my listings here at the top left and show you a completed one under status. This one says complete. I'll click into that. And you'll see all the details about this specific transaction, every step that has been taken here along the way, and all the previous versions of changes were made. And just to access the completed forms, the current versions, you'll just click download PDFs there at the top in the middle. And there we go. You'll see them listed individually. You can open them to preview and print. You can zoom in, make sure it looks good. All the checkboxes are lined up and everything, and the signatures and initials are good. So then you know you can download and print. They will always be good. You don't have to check, but you know, at first you may not trust it. So it's good to preview. Here you can log in a zip form to export those forms, as I mentioned, and just send those to the appropriate transaction in your zip account. I'll go back to my dashboard by clicking my listings at the top left. And then one more note here, if you click your name at the top right, and then account settings, and you scroll down to the broker section. If you don't see your company logo under that, you're not connected to the brokerage account. So that will mean that their form preference won't be applied, as well as their logo won't be applied to your invites. So they have a TXR form set as their preferred form. So that will be applied to your account when you're linked with them.
And that's our company's preferred form too. So yeah. Wow.
Okay, so all the agents need to be connected to the brokerage account for that setting to be, or, you know, any agent connected to the brokerage account will have that setting applied. So as long as, you know, you hop in there and you check that setting, it should be fine. If you see the logo on there, you'll be connected essentially. If you don't see it, let us know and we can give you the code. I can give it to you now, actually, just in case you would like it. It's a lowercase one word, Briggs Freeman.
That's easy enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Not too hard, but it can be a little confusing at first. So I just like to clarify that for people just in case they see that they're not linked. And then, yeah, and then I'll put the logo, and then it will also apply that form preference for you. And yes, okay, that is it. Perfect. So I'll just click into that to make sure that's clear. You click change broker, you search for the brokerage by name, and then it'll have a window where you enter that code, lowercase Briggs Freeman, one word. Cool. All right, moving on here. You sign out by clicking your name at the top right. Okay, and then so we can go through this little zip form. I think you guys use Zip, right?
We use zip forms. Some of our agents use zip forms, and then others, and that was one of the questions in the chat. We have our own system that's called ReChat. Do y'all link to that at all?
I have not heard of that, so I don't believe so.
Okay.
But I can add it to our list of look intos.
Okay, great.
Sure.
But like Zareen was saying, we have a link on our BF office, which is kind of the landing page for our, you know, our intranet for our company. So that would be
okay.
You do
It's
it.
not going to automatically link a new agent to your brokerage account if you're just clicking a link. So I would use that code and share that code with anybody who's new to connect with the brokerage once they click that link and set up their account.
Oh, and I have one more question and from the chat box. If a seller accidentally checked the wrong box and submitted for completion, what is the best way to make the change?
Sure. So you don't have it on your side, so it's understandable that you would be confused. But on their side, the seller account, they have a big button that says make changes. So they can just click that, and that will put them back into the tool. They can change what they need to, and then just resubmit, re-sign the same way, and go from there.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah. No problem. All right. Well, it's really simple. That zip form, if you are going to use Zip, again, like I showed you, just click that button, enter your credentials, select the client, and then it'll auto-populate that invite form for you. And then at the end, you can just click that button again, export the forms to your account. It's pretty straightforward, but let us know if you have any questions on it. And then here on the right, you can see how clean and professional our forms are. Obviously the TXR, which I know is your preference, and the lead-based paint form there is an example, but probably used to seeing the kind on the left sometimes. I know I was as an agent, so it's just not great when dealing with these legal documents. Obviously, they're pretty important. You want to be able to read them. Using the same promulgated form, of course, you're required to use there. So just wanted you to see that is what you're supposed to be using. And now if your seller opts into that protection we offer, or if you buy it for them, you'll both receive a certificate confirming that it is in place. It'll have the length of coverage as well as who to contact in the event of a claim here at our company. So they will know they have a whole team of legal professionals behind them the whole time, and really just gives everyone a lot more peace of mind, including you guys. And again, they can purchase this protection without using that disclosure tool. So even if you have, clients currently that have already filled out their forms, or clients that don't want to use an online tool, that you can still get that protection in place without using it.
At what point, anytime prior to closing, is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as long as you haven't closed, you can buy that protection, even if you don't want to use the disclosure tool at all. And even I'll go over pricing here, but essentially there are two pricing options: either pay early or pay at close, which is going to go through title. So I'll just cover that here. So as for pricing, the most popular option with sellers is the Pay Now 2-year program here, $249 you see on the left. But we also offer sellers 3 and 4 years of protection. And again, it's for any post-sale claim, be it related to the disclosure or not. And again, can be purchased anytime before the transaction has closed. And they can secondarily elect the pay at close option. That's the second option. Just let your clients know that they can save $100 just by doing this pay now option. The pay at close goes through title. We'll invoice title once we receive information from the agent about title. And then that will just process pretty seamlessly from their perspective. There's a few more steps on our end, so that's why it's a little bit more expensive. So obviously sales do. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Can you extend it? Let's say you opt in for 1 year, you haven't made a claim yet, and you're 9 months in. Can you extend it to the 2, 3, or 4 year?
It's a good question. I believe so. As long as it hasn't ended, if you're still in that period of coverage, I believe you can extend it.
Okay.
But I will double check on that. Actually, that's something I should check on. Okay, I'll let you know there, Angela.
Thanks.
Yeah, sales do fall through, of course. So, if you have prepaid for this coverage, we'll refund payment if that sale falls through and then you end up not needing it. And you can also roll that protection over if you're the agent and you purchased it and you just want to use it on the next listing. We also do have a new special offer for partners. So you can provide a full year of protection to your clients after the sale for just $199. So we give you a little discount there, a special price just for agents to kind of gift their clients. And then if the client wants to boost that from 1 year to 2 or 3 years, they can just pay that difference. So, they would just pay $50 to get 2 years of protection along with your gift of $199. So again, we're going to hire a qualified real estate attorney, handle the claim from start to finish, and provide $20,000 to pay their legal fees. We do have that new offer you see there at the bottom right that covers $60,000 in legal fees, and 4 years after the sale. It is obviously more expensive for that. It's $1,200, and it's a little more popular on the West Coast where things get pricier a little bit more quickly, but it is available nationwide, so you're aware. And again, we're going to hire that qualified real estate attorney for your client, handle the claim from the very first sign of trouble to the very close of the claim, and provide $20,000. So just be sure to reach out at the first sign of trouble so we can really try to prevent that mediation and lawsuit.
So in terms of making the claim, there's a phone number or email on some documentation, and that's how they reach out.
On that certificate I just showed you there. Yep. So I can go back to that. This certificate, again, you'll both receive a certificate confirming it's in place there. So that'll have the length of coverage, well, who to contact in the event of a claim. And so you'll just always have that at hand. Both the seller and agent will have that accessible on their account so they can reference anything they need at any time.
Great. And then does the seller have any say in who the attorney is? I mean, or are we really dependent upon Seller Shield for the placement?
Yeah, we'll pick it. We do a local attorney, of course. We're not going to send somebody from down here up to Dallas, I think. So are you guys in Houston or Dallas?
We're in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Dallas, the DFW. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, either way, we have people everywhere. So our main firm is Wilson Elzer, if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, actually our firm uses them some.
All right, well, there you go. And then if there's any kind of, conflict, then we'll start looking for another one, but we have plenty of good, reliable real estate attorney firms that, are available to us.
Okay, good. And again, so the coverage is really for just the legal fees, not any settlement, right? You
Correct,
said the
correct.
average settlement is like 6% of the claim. So if it was a $10,000 claim, that would be what, like $600 or something?
Mm.
So,
Yeah. So that's correct. So the payment would just the $20,000 would just cover the seller's legal fees. But again, with that protection in place, we're able to jump in and be so proactive about stuff early that we're able to prevent usually most lawsuits and even mediation. As I said, 94% don't even go to mediation. And then beyond that, we get, an average 6% of the claim is what they end up paying if they do proceed.
Okay, great. That makes sense.
Cool. All right. Well, we do have these flyers to let y'all know. We should have shared them with you guys. If we haven't, let me know and I'll send them over.
Yeah, send them to me and we can distribute them. So that
Yeah.
would be wonderful. So
You got it. The two on the left there, that kind of is for listing packets, just going to give an overview about us and specifically the one on the left there about HSLP legal protection, if you want to cover that with your client. And then the one on the right there is an order and opt-out form. So you can either, if you have clients that don't want to order stuff online, you can order it by mail or phone. And you can also use that as an opt-out form for clients who opt out of protection. You can use that as a form to have them just sign that to show that they did opt out of that and you did offer that legal protection option to them for your own peace of mind. And then that's about it. I think that we were going to cover today with you guys. Did I miss any questions in the chat? I don't think so. Rechat and then the seller estimate. Okay, yeah, got those. We do have a video, but I
have
don't
questions for me.
think you guys are a little higher level than this little video, but we do have a video that we made if you want to look for it on our YouTube. It's basically just going to explain the risks involved in disclosure to your client. So you can always just send them a link to that and that'll kind of get them in the right headspace. It's Bo Blackburn that made the video. He's our real estate attorney CEO here and on the Texas Broker Lawyer Committee. So he has a lot of knowledge that he likes to share with sellers to get them to fill out their disclosures properly and safely. So you can always look for that on our YouTube, and it should be linked in the email we sent out recently to partner resources as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much. This was super helpful. And like I said, we will, if you'll send me those documents, we'll pass them on, and we're going to share this recording to our agents because we are, really encouraging them to consider using you.
Perfect. Well, let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help and, keep you guys out of trouble. So just let us know what you need.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.